Listen to me. Some of you out here, you're playing games with your destiny. You're treating your dream like it's optional. You're walking around with a plan B in your back pocket. Let me tell you something. Plan B is the enemy of plan A. Plan B is a distraction. Plan B is for people who are scared to go all in. When I was homeless, sleeping in abandoned buildings, eating out of trash cans, I didn't have a plan B. Plan B was death. Plan B was failure. The only way out was forward. You gotta burn the boats. You gotta cut off every exit. Because when you give yourself a way out, you're giving yourself a way to quit. The reason most people never reach their goals is not because they're not capable. It's because they don't commit. They try, but they don't decide. There's a difference between trying and committing. And the moment you say there is no plan B, that's the moment you become dangerous. That's the moment you tap into a different version of yourself. You think winners have options? No, they have obsession. They lock in. They get up at 3 a.m. They stay late. They sacrifice friends, sleep, and comfort because playing a must work, period. So I'm telling you right now, if you're going to do it, then do it. Don't just say it, live it. Go all in. Go all in, don't look back. Because if you keep giving yourself option, you'll never give yourself greatness. There is no plan B. Plan B is a distraction. It sounds harsh, but it's the truth. When you have a backup plan, something inside you believes your main goal might fail. You start playing it safe, hedging your bets, preparing for failure before you've even started. It's like getting married while secretly saving the number of your ex, just in case. You can't give your full self to something when you're already thinking about your escape route. That mindset is not just weak, it's dangerous to your purpose. When you say you want success, when you claim you want to be great, but then you keep a backup plan ready, what you're really saying is, I don't believe in myself enough to go all in. That backup plan is fear dressed up like wisdom. It's doubt hiding behind logic. You tell yourself you're being practical. You tell yourself it's smart to be prepared. But what you're really doing is sabotaging your own belief. You're cutting your dream at the knees before it ever stands up. Think about the greats: Michael Jordan, Serena Williams, Kobe Bryant, Steve Jobs. Do you think they had a plan B? Absolutely not. They were obsessed. They were committed. They didn't say, if this basketball thing doesn't work, I'll be an accountant. They didn't say, if I don't make it in tech, I'll just play it safe and get a job at a firm. No, they said, ooh, this is it. This is what I was born to do. That mindset changes everything. Because when you have no backup plan, you fight harder. You stay up later. You wake up earlier. You refuse to lose. You can't afford to lose. But most people don't live like that. Most people live like there's always tomorrow. Like there's always another chance, another door, another way. They dabble in their dreams. They test the water. They say things like, let me see how this goes first. Or I'll try this for 6 months. And if it doesn't work, I'll move on. That's not commitment. That's curiosity. And curiosity doesn't change the world. Commitment does. When I was homeless, when I was sleeping in abandoned buildings and eating out of trash cans, I didn't have a plan B. Plan B was failure. Plan B was going back to being broke, going back to being invisible, going back to living like I didn't matter. So plan, I had to work. And that pressure made me unstoppable. That pressure created a version of me that didn't care about excuses, that didn't care about opinions. Oh, how much sleep I missed, how hard the journey got, because I had nowhere else to go. My only direction was forward. When you leave yourself a way out, you will take it. The moment things get tough, your brain will look for the escape hatch. It'll remind you of that job you still had, that fallback option, that degree you never used. It'll whisper to you, you can always go back. But if going back is even an option, then your dream is not your focus. It's your experiment. And success does not reward experiments. It rewards the obsessed, the locked in. The people say, come hell or high water, I'm doing this. Let me tell you why plan B is so seductive. Because it feels safe. It lets you sleep at night. It lets you feel like you got a cushion, a net to catch you. But that cushion becomes a coffin. That net becomes a trap. Because every second you spend thinking about plan B is a second you're not executing plan A. Every ounce of energy you pour into your safety plan is energy taken away from your success plan. You're spreading yourself thin. You're spreading yourself thin. You're chasing two rabbits And what happens when you chase two rabbits? You catch none. Some of you are in love with comfort more than you are in love with success. You say you want to win, but you're scared to lose. And because of that fear, you create a backup plan to ease the fall. But the fall is part of the process. The pain, the failure, the struggle, that's how you get strong. That's how you get sharp. That's how you become who you're supposed to be. You can't skip the suffering. You can't cheat the grind. There is no fast forward button to greatness. So when you run to plan B every time things get rough, you rob yourself of the very pressure that would have built your purpose. And don't get it twisted. Now, I'm not saying you shouldn't be strategic. I'm not saying you shouldn't plan. But there's a difference between preparing and escaping. There's a difference between being calculated, being cowardly. Too many people use plan B as an excuse to not give 100%. They say, well, I have something to fall back on, so they never push their limits. They never go to the edge. They never go to war with themselves because they know they can quit without consequences. They can fail without pain. But what if failing did? Right? What if losing everything was the only option if you didn't win? You fight different. You hustle harder. You give it your all. The problem with a safety net is it keeps you from flying. You stay close to the ground because you know something is there to catch you. But if there's nothing underneath you, you're forced to soar. You're forced to soar. You're forced to either rise or crash. And that intensity, that pressure, that's where greatness is born. That's where legends are made. Not in plan B, not in the backup plan, not in the easy route. Well, let me say this. If you don't believe in your plan A enough to drop everything else, then maybe it's not the right plan. Maybe it's not your passion. Because when it's real, when it's yours, you'll go broke for it. You'll suffer for it. You'll bleed for it. You'll sacrifice everything for it, and you won't even think twice. You won't need a backup because the dream is your oxygen. The goal is your heartbeat. Plan A is the only option. So the next time you catch yourself planning for a fallback, ask yourself why. Are you doing it out of wisdom or out of fear? Are you preparing or are you procrastinating because deep down, you feel it. You know if you're giving it your all or just giving it enough to look good on the outside. Stop playing games with your future. Stop disrespecting your own gift. Stop treating your dream like it's optional. If you want it, then want it with everything in you. Want it so bad that there is no second choice, no back door, no parachute, just to climb. Because the truth is, the people who win are not always the smartest, not always the most talented, not always the ones who start with the best tools. They're the ones who outlast everyone else. The ones who refuse to quit. The ones who show up every single day, even when it hurts, even when it's hard, even when the world is laughing at them. Why? Because they don't have a plan B. They can't fail. They won't fail. Not because it's impossible, but because it's unacceptable. So if you really want this life, this dream, this purpose, then make a decision. Not a suggestion, not a wish. A decision, decide that this is it. Decide that plan A is the only way. And once you do that, I promise you, the world will start to move. Doors will open. Opportunities will come. Because energy flows where commitment goes. So kill the doubt, cut the cord, burn the boats. There's no plan B, there never was. Most people fail not because they don't have talent, but because they never fully commit. They dip their toes in the water, but never jump in. They want success, but they also want comfort. They want to win, but they don't want to sacrifice. And that mindset, that hesitation, is what kills more dreams than failure ever could. You have to understand commitment isn't about doing something when it feels good. It's about doing it even when everything inside you wants to quit. It's about showing up every single day, even when nobody's watching, even when nobody's clapping for you, even when the results haven't shown up yet. Half in and expect to win. Life doesn't reward lukewarm effort. It rewards the obsessed, the relentless, the ones who don't give themselves permission to back down. When you're fully committed, you move differently. You think differently. You don't get distracted by the noise because your vision is louder than your excuses. Your purpose is stronger than your pain. Most people treat their dreams like hobbies. They work on them when they have time, when it's convenient, when everything aligns perfectly. But that's not how commitment works. Commitment means you make time. You adjust your life around your goal, not the other way around. Every day you wake up and choose comfort over growth. You're stepping further away from the life you say you want. Because growth isn't comfortable. It's demanding. It requires more than just wanting. It requires willingness. Willingness to be exhausted. Willingness to be uncomfortable. Willingness to go through things that break most people just to come out stronger on the other side. Commitment isn't sexy. It's not glamorous. It's early mornings, late nights, rejection, setbacks, sacrifice, and discipline. But it's also the only way to guarantee that your dream stands a chance. There are people out there with half your talent, half your opportunity, half your resources, but they're winning because they're all in. They decided they weren't going to let anything stop them. They put their entire life behind one direction, and that level of commitment changes the game. It creates momentum. It makes the universe take notice. Because when you go all in, something shifts. You attract people, opportunities, and breakthroughs that only show up for the fully invested. Too many people keep one foot in and one foot out. They say, I'll do this, but if it gets too hard, I'll stop. If it takes too long, I'll try something else. That's not commitment, that's convenience. And dabblers don't win. Dabblers get mediocre results and wonder why life didn't turn out the way they imagined. If you want something different, you have to be different. You have to commit like your life depends on it. Because in a way it does. Think about the word commitment. It means to bind yourself to something, to pledge your loyalty, your energy, your focus. When you commit to something, you're saying, this matters more than my excuses. This matters more than my distractions. This matters more than my fears. And when you live like that, when you give yourself no way out, you start to discover strength you didn't know you had. You push past limits that used to stop you. You develop grit, resilience, discipline, and hunger. But here's the truth most people don't want to hear. Commitment comes before results. You don't get to wait until things are easy or fun or perfect. You don't get to wait until the dream looks possible. You commit first. You say, I'm doing this no matter what. And then you back it up with action day after day, even when the odds are stacked against you, even when you're tired, even when nobody believes in you. That's what separates winners from everyone else. It's not skill, it's not luck. It's not even intelligence. It's the ability to stay committed when most people would rather quit. You have to develop the kind of mindset where quitting is not an option, where failure is just part of the process, not the end of the road, where pain is a signal to keep going harder, not a reason to retreat. That mindset doesn't come overnight. It comes from making small, consistent choices that build your belief. Every time you show up when you don't feel like it, you get stronger. Every time you push past the comfort zone, you grow. And that growth compounds. That discipline becomes momentum. That commitment becomes identity. Eventually, you stop needing motivation to move. You stop waiting for the perfect time or the perfect plan. You just act. You just grind. Because you're not chasing a dream. You're living one decision at a time. And that decision is, I'm not going anywhere until I make this happen. You also have to stop looking for validation from others. People won't always understand your commitment. They'll tell you to slow down. They'll ask why you're working so hard. They'll say you're obsessed, that you're taking it too seriously. But obsession is what success looks like in its early stages. Commitment is lonely before it's celebrated. People won't believe in you until the results show up. And by then, your commitment will be so solid. Their opinion won't matter. Don't water down your dream to make others comfortable. Don't shrink your effort to match their mediocrity. Be bold about your commitment. Own it. Wear it. Let it fuel you. Let it fuel you in. Because in a world full of people who kind of want it, who sort of try, who maybe believe in themselves, the one who's all in will always stand out. The one who refuses to quit will always find a way. The one who's committed will always outlast the competition. And yes, it's going to be hard. There will be days when everything goes wrong, days when you question yourself, days when quitting looks like the logical choice. But those are the days that define you. Those are the days when commitment means the most. Anyone can be committed when things are going well, but real commitment shows up in adversity. Real commitment is tested in the storm, when it's dark, when you feel alone, when the progress is slow. That's when your decision matters most. That's when you look yourself in the mirror and say, I didn't come this far to only come this far. That's when you remind yourself that dreams don't respond to effort. They respond to consistency. They respond to sacrifice. They respond to the version of you who shows up every day like their future depends on it, because it does. So ask yourself, right now, are you committed or are you convenient? Are you invested or are you just interested? Are you giving it everything or just what's easy? Because the answer to those questions will determine your future. Talent might get your foot in the door, but commitment keeps you in the room. Luck might get you noticed, but commitment makes you unforgettable. Resources might give you a head start, but commitment determines who finishes. You don't have to be the best. You don't have to have it all figured out. But you do have to be all in. You do have to decide that your dream is worth more than your fear, more than your excuses, more than your comfort. Once you make that decision, truly make it, everything changes. You stop making excuses and start making moves. You stop overthinking and start executing. You stop waiting and start becoming. That's what commitment is. It's the promise you make to yourself that you won't stop until the dream becomes reality. It's the inner fire that keeps burning even when the world goes cold. The beauty of it is this. Once you're committed, life bends to meet you. The obstacles don't disappear, but you become bigger than them. The road doesn't get easier, but you get stronger. And eventually, the thing that once seemed impossible becomes inevitable because you didn't give up. You didn't look back. You didn't flinch. You committed. You stayed. You endured, and that more than anything is what builds a legacy. The road to success is never a straight line. It's filled with obstacles, setbacks, and moments that make you question everything. And in those moments, the difference between those who make it and those who don't isn't talent, luck, or resources. It's perseverance. It's the ability to keep going, even when it feels like everything is falling apart. I see, everyone wants the reward, but very few are willing to endure the struggle required to get there. That's where perseverance comes in. It's about waking up every day and deciding no matter what happened yesterday, that you're still in the fight. It's about staying in the game when others are walking away. It's about holding on when you have every reason to let go. Life doesn't hand out success easily, and it shouldn't. If it were easy, it wouldn't be worth having. The process is supposed to challenge you. It's supposed to push you. It's supposed to make you uncomfortable. Why? Because discomfort is where growth lives. Because pain has a purpose. Because struggle develops strength. But only if you persevere. Only if you keep moving forward when everything inside you screams to stop. That's the test. That's the proving ground. When you get hit, you will get hit. You have a decision to make. Stay down or get back up. And the people who win, they always get back up. Not because they're unbreakable, but because they refuse to stay broken. There's something powerful about a person who refuses to quit. The world doesn't know what to do with that kind of determination. It's rare. It's fierce. It's relentless. It's relentless. It changes everything. Because when you commit to perseverance, you're saying that nothing, not pain, not failure, not fear, can take you out of the game. You're declaring to the world and to yourself that your purpose is stronger than your problems, that your dream is bigger than your doubt, that your future matters more than your feelings. That kind of mindset can't be stopped. But let's be clear. Perseverance doesn't mean you won't get tired. It doesn't mean you won't have moments of weakness, doubt, or fear. It means that even in those moments, you won't quit. You'll rest, but you'll keep moving. You'll cry, but you'll keep showing up. You'll fail, but you'll learn and grow. That's what perseverance looks like in real life. It's not perfect, it's not pretty, but it's powerful. It's about doing the hard thing when it's the last thing you want to do. It's about showing up when it would be easier to walk away. And over time, that consistency, that grit adds up. It compounds. It becomes a force so strong that even the biggest obstacles can't hold you back. So many people give up too soon. They hit a roadblock and they turn around. They hit a wall and they assume it's the end. But what they don't realize is that the breakthrough often comes right after the breakdown. That the next level's on the other side of the hardest moment. And if you quit now, you'll never know how close you were. You'll never see what could have been. You'll carry that regret for the rest of your life. But if you persevere, if you hang on just a little longer, you'll be amazed at what's waiting for you. Perseverance is about playing the long game. It's about understanding that greatness isn't built in a day, a week, or even a year. It takes time. It takes resilience. It takes enduring seasons of drought before you see the harvest. Most people can't handle that. They want instant results, and when they don't see them, they give up. But real success, real impact, that's built brick by brick, day by day, through discipline and determination. There are no shortcuts. There are no handouts. Just the grind, just the work, just the refusal to give up no matter how hard it gets. And let me tell you something, perseverance will cost you. It will cost you comfort. It will cost you sleep. It will cost you relationships, time, energy, and maybe even your peace for a while. But the reward is the life you've always wanted. The reward is becoming the person you were born to be. And nothing great ever comes without sacrifice. You can't climb a mountain without struggle. You can't run a marathon without pain. You can't build a legacy without perseverance. You have to train your mind to endure. You have to build mental toughness. That means controlling your thoughts, mastering your emotions, and refusing to let circumstances dictate your actions. It means choosing discipline over distraction, choosing effort over excuses, choosing to keep going even when it doesn't make sense. And the beautiful thing is, perseverance is a skill, can be developed. The more you push through challenges, the stronger you become. The more you endure, the more you realize what you're capable of. You start to build confidence, not because everything is easy, but because you know you can survive the storm. Every challenge you face is shaping you. Every setback is refining you. Every failure is teaching you something valuable if you choose to persevere, if you choose to stay in the fight. Because the truth is, you are stronger than you think. You are more capable than you realize. You'll never know that unless you test your limits, unless you keep going when you feel like you've reached the end. That's how warriors are made. That's how leaders are built. That's how dreams become reality. Not through ease, but through endurance. People will doubt you. They'll question your path. They'll tell you it's not worth it, that you should take the easier road. But you can't let their fear become your future. You can't let their limits define your potential. You have to block out the noise and keep moving forward. You have to believe in your vision, even when it feels like nobody else does. That's what perseverance requires. That what you're doing matters. Faith that your effort will pay off. Faith that the storm will pass and the sun